Man, I don't know about you, but it really feels like things are starting to move fast for the Denver Broncos. Every day we wake up, there's another storyline that could end up shaping this team's season. And today is one of those days that every Broncos fan needs to pay attention to. Because today's not just about one headline. We've actually got two major Broncos updates to break down. And both of them could have an impact on this roster in completely different ways. One of these stories involves a situation that Broncos fans have been talking about for years. And now, for the first time, it actually feels like something could finally happen. The timing couldn't be more interesting. And if it does happen, it could give this offense a completely different look. But that's not all. Our second story is about a move the Broncos quietly made that could tell us a lot about what's happening behind the scenes. Especially after an unexpected situation at training camp. It might not be the biggest name on the roster, but these are exactly the kinds of decisions that can affect depth and competition heading into the season. So today, we've got two important Broncos stories to go through, and trust me, both are worth discussing. Before we jump in, if you're a real Broncos fan, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join us here. My name is Andrew, and this channel is still brand new. Our first goal is to reach 500 subscribers. And I'd love for the people who are here from the very beginning to be the fans who truly believe in this team's future. Now, let's get into today's news. The first story has to start with Taysom Hill, because after years of rumors, this is probably the closest we've ever been to seeing him actually become a Denver Bronco. On Wednesday night, Hill officially announced that he will not be returning to the New Orleans Saints for a 10th season. He shared the news himself in a statement on social media, but interestingly, he never said he was retiring. Instead, he left the door completely open to continue playing somewhere else in 2026. And the moment that happened, Broncos fans immediately started connecting the dots. Why? Because of Sean Payton. Payton coached Taysom Hill in New Orleans from 2017 through 2021, and nobody understands how to use Hill better than he does. During those years, Hill wasn't just a quarterback. He lined up at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and on special teams. That's why he's earned the nickname, the human Swiss Army knife. There simply hasn't been another player in the NFL quite like him. In fact, during the 2025 season, Hill became the first player in the entire Super Bowl era to record over 1,000 career passing yards, 1,000 career rushing yards, and 1,000 career receiving yards. That's an incredible accomplishment, and it shows just how unique his skill set really is. ESPN's Catherine Terrell reported that Hill confirmed he wouldn't return to New Orleans, but intentionally stopped short of announcing retirement, making it clear that another team could still sign him this season. Financially, this could actually make sense for Denver too. Over his 9 seasons with the Saints, Hill has earned approximately $62.9 million in career earnings. After leaving New Orleans, many believe he could be available on a relatively inexpensive 1-year deal. Some projections suggest a contract worth around $3 million, with incentives pushing it up to $5 million if everything goes well. That's a very reasonable price for someone who can contribute in so many different ways. Not surprisingly, social media exploded almost immediately. Mike McGregor from Draft Buddy joked on X, saying, "Dear fantasy gods, please don't let Taysom Hill turn up at Broncos camp." Anyone who has ever played fantasy football knows exactly why he said that. Hill has frustrated fantasy managers for years because of the unpredictable ways he's used. Meanwhile, Saints fan Jay Coleman sounded convinced the move is already happening, posting, "We already know Taysom Hill going to the Broncos." And honestly, can you blame people for thinking that? This isn't some brand new rumor. Ever since the Broncos hired Sean Payton before the 2023 season, people have been expecting this reunion. Almost every offseason, every trade deadline, and every free agency period, Hill's name has somehow been connected to Denver. Back at the 2025 trade deadline, ESPN's Bill Barnwell even suggested that Denver should try to acquire Hill for a 2028 6th-round draft pick. Barnwell argued that although the Broncos already had plenty of offensive weapons, Payton could always use another player who thrives in short yardage situations and inside the red zone. He also pointed out that Evan Ingram had disappointed offensively with only 137 receiving yards at that point in the season, while Adam Troutman and Nate Adkins had contributed at times, but neither offered anything close to the versatility that Hill brings. And let's remember something else. Hill isn't that far removed from a serious injury. He tore the ACL in his left knee late in the 2024 season, causing him to miss the final 9 games. But he worked his way back and returned in Week 5 of 2025 against the New York Giants, scoring a rushing touchdown in his comeback. A week later, he also found the end zone on the ground against the New England Patriots. That showed teams around the league that he could still contribute after the injury. Hill was also entering the final season of the four-year $40 million contract he signed with New Orleans in November of 2021, which also happened to be Sean Payton's final season coaching the Saints. Still, not everyone believes this reunion is inevitable. Broncos fan Shane Byrne pushed back against all the speculation, writing on X that Denver has had multiple opportunities to bring Hill in already. His point was simple. The Broncos could have traded for Hill during any of the previous seasons under Sean Payton. They didn't. Hill has also been a free agent throughout this offseason, and Denver could have signed him at any point since March. They didn't. So, Byrne's argument is that if the Broncos truly wanted Taysom Hill, he probably would already be wearing orange and blue. Personally, I think that's a fair point. But I also think today's situation is different. Now there's no contract attached, no trade compensation, no waiting for another team to make a decision. If Sean Payton truly believes Taysom Hill still has something left and can help this football team make another Super Bowl push after finishing 14-3 last season before losing the AFC Championship game at home to the New England Patriots, this is probably the cleanest opportunity they've ever had to finally make this reunion happen. Now, let's move to our second Broncos story, because while everyone is talking about Taysom Hill, the front office quietly made another move that could impact the depth chart. According to Mike Kliss from KUSA-TV, the Broncos have signed veteran cornerback Sam Webb after a successful free agent tryout. Denver brought both Sam Webb and undrafted rookie Ricardo Hallman in for workouts on Thursday after rookie cornerback Blake Cotton suffered an undisclosed injury during Wednesday's practice and was unable to participate the following day. Webb impressed the coaching staff enough to earn a contract, while Hallman left without a deal. The Broncos haven't officially announced the corresponding roster move yet, but many expect Blake Cotton could end up making room if his injury requires additional time away. Sam Webb enters Denver, heading into his 5th NFL season at 28 years old. Throughout his career, he spent time with 4 different NFL teams, appearing in 36 games, making 5 starts, recording 45 tackles, 4 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble, and even returning 1 fumble for a touchdown. Now, he joins one of the deepest cornerback groups on the roster. That room already includes Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, Joaquin McMillian, Jahdae Barron, Crease Abrams-Drain, Reese Taylor, Jaden Robinson, Brent Austin, and Sean Fresh. Will Sam Webb end up making the final roster? That's still far from guaranteed. But this signing also shows something important. The Broncos aren't waiting around whenever depth becomes an issue. The moment Blake Cotton went down with an injury, they immediately brought in competition, evaluated multiple players, and rewarded the one who earned it on the field. That's exactly the kind of roster management you expect from a team trying to get back to the AFC Championship and take the next step toward a Super Bowl. When you step back and look at both of today's stories together, I actually think they tell us a lot about where this organization is right now. The Broncos aren't acting like a rebuilding team anymore. They're acting like a team that believes its championship window is open. Whether it's the possibility of adding a unique veteran like Taysom Hill, someone Sean Payton knows better than almost anyone in football, or making smaller but important depth moves like signing Sam Webb after a strong workout. Every decision seems focused on making this roster as complete as possible before the season begins. Now, will Taysom Hill actually end up in Denver? Nobody knows yet. There are still plenty of questions. Does Sean Payton still see him as an important piece? Does the front office believe he fits financially? Does Hill even want to continue playing? And if he does, is Denver his preferred destination? Those answers will come soon enough. But one thing is undeniable. For the first time in years, this reunion feels more realistic than ever. There are no trade negotiations to worry about, no contract complications with New Orleans, and no waiting for another team to make a decision. If the Broncos want Taysom Hill, the opportunity is finally there. As for Sam Webb, this might not be the headline that grabs national attention, but championship teams are built with moves exactly like this. Injuries happen during training camp every single year, and having experienced players ready to step in can make a huge difference over the course of a long NFL season. That's why every roster move matters. As Broncos fans, we've been waiting a long time to watch this franchise consistently compete at the highest level again. And right now, it honestly feels like this front office isn't leaving anything to chance. Every position is being evaluated. Every opportunity is being explored. Every roster spot has to be earned. And that's exactly the mentality you want from a team with Super Bowl expectations. Now, I want to hear from all of you. Do you think the Broncos should sign Taysom Hill? Or do you agree with the fans who believe that if Sean Payton really wanted him, he would already be in Denver? And what do you think about bringing in Sam Webb? Do you see him making the final 53-man roster, or is this simply a training camp depth move? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because I read as many of them as I can, and I always enjoy seeing where Broncos Country stands on these big decisions. If you enjoyed today's update, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Broncos News Daily. We're still a brand new channel, and our first goal is reaching 500 subscribers. So if you truly believe in the future of this team, and you want to be part of this community from the very beginning, I'd love to have you with us. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you who chooses to spend a few minutes of your day here with me talking Broncos football. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and as always, go Broncos.